Hello everyone, welcome back to another Transformers review. As you can see, I'm doing a quite jazzy coloured Transformer, which obviously means this is G2. This is also a European exclusive only Decepticon. It's, as I say, from the Generation 2 line. Now, I've got the instructions for him, and although these are the foreign instructions from English, they're in, I think it's French and German, I believe. They call him Black Omen, but that is not actually the proper name to call this guy in the West, so to speak. Is of course swoop. Still not exactly a straightforward name, or one that makes a lot of sense. Now, I've actually shown the robot mode for a change first, because I thought I'd give you a look round the robot mode and what it can do, and I'll also show you the vehicle mode after, and there's a reason for that. Now, if I give you a little 360 of his bot mode, you can see, of course, being a G2, he's got fantastic light piping on the eyes. He's a little bit rough and ready. Where I got this guy, he hadn't been quite so well loved, so I've got to do a bit of restoration on him. I'll have to repaint his knees where the paint's worn on there, and he's got missing stickers, so I'm hoping at some point I'll be able to repro label him if they do a set for this guy. Like I say, I'll give you a quick 360. It's pretty obvious this guy is a jet, because especially with the back kibble, it couldn't be much else. Quite interesting that they've done plastic inserts with some nice moulding detail in a different colour on the back of his legs. No real reason for that, but it is a nice touch that they bothered. And obviously you can see the clear plastic part, what gives him the great light piping on the back of his head. Articulation is pretty basic, almost a little bit pound shoppy. You've just got arm movement at the shoulder, no other leg movement, and just a little bit of movement due to transformation on the actual toes of his feet. I don't even believe, no, his head doesn't even turn either. It's a pretty basic Transformer. Now in this mode, as you can see, he's got no handheld weapons, and that's where this part comes in. Now if you just put his arms straight out, put him to one side for a second, you take this part. Now this is some kind of, I don't know if you call it like a pom-pom gun. Now it does have a little revolving part down here with like rough surface so that it can grip on your finger, and as you turn that, if you can see, you get gun movement and also clicking sound, so it sounds like sort of pom-pom machine gun sort of movement, a little bit like the guns on the Millennium Falcon, and if you remember from the Star Wars films where they sort of go backwards and forwards. But again, nice touch. Now he can hold this, so what you do is you pull the blue part down so that it acts as a stand. Obviously it won't stand on its own because it would be a balancing act, but just underneath these two positions, if I can bring that in, put my thumb behind and that focus, you've got two pegs, one there and one here, and with that you can peg it into each fist like so. Now they're small, so it's a little bit difficult to get it in there to start with, and then basically you get a large cannon. So again, this follows on a little bit like the obliterators from the sort of G1, G2 era. These guys were the Predator jets, so again it sort of give it a little bit more play value, because you could still get to the weapon control and still fire it. So yeah, quite a nice little touch, and a little bit more, like I say, play value with it. Now it does have a feature, because in both modes, and I will bring it in and see if I can get this to work. I've got the lights on as bright as I can. If you look through there, it's almost like a little periscope bit. Now you see a bright dot. Now as you turn this, you should get almost like you're looking through a viewfinder and you're seeing the laser light or tracer firing up from the gun sight. I think that's a really clever, nice little touch. And there's no batteries, it just works straight on the reflected light through the top clear panel there. And it's on almost like a bit of photographic film that it's actually reflecting on. So if you ever pick one of these up and it's missing the part in there, all you really need is a slightly sort of like firm but tinted bit of film. Now you could rig that up by simply using a little bit of car tint on some clear plastic that you could cut from any sort of packaging. So it is possible to repair this feature if it isn't working correctly. But I think that is a fantastic little touch, and seriously clever whoever came up with that idea, because it really does spark the imagination if you was a kid playing with that. So really funny. Now, get to the transformation. Now this won't take long, being a G2 is very basic. You put his arms down to the side, you lift the nose cone of the jet, which is very sort of seekerish, the fact that it's there. Fold it all together, which basically forms the plane part, but of course you've got a robot body hanging off the front of it. You then just need to turn the arms to the back, and then you need to slide this whole black section. There's a screw there with like a slide piece, and that needs to slide physically backwards like that, so that the screw's now at the front of the slide, and then you just need to flip the legs back and over, and that forms the body of the jet. Now you can leave the toes out as undercarriage. As you can see, there's wheels at the front, and he has got a little flick out undercarriage at the front as well, hidden away in the nose. So you can actually sit the jet down and it'd be off the actual surface that you're playing with it on. Or of course, if you want it in fly mode, flip them away, flip the toes back and up, and you've got a flying jet mode. So you don't need to have the wheels out all the time in that sense. And again, really nice G2 jet. The Predator jets really were quite imaginative, and they're quite a varied design. It did sort of like add quite a variety, from going from the Seekers, which were pretty much the same mould with slightly different wings, going with the second Conehead sort of generation, to completely different jet modes. So I don't think there's a single Predator jet that is actually the same type of aircraft as one another, or colours or anything like that at all. So really nice variety in the Predator line. Anyway, so you've got your nice jet mode, which looks a little bit hollow at the back, and there's a reason for that as well, because you can take the weapon part, which has got two pegs on the sort of greeny blue section at the front, and you can peg that straight into those two holes there. It's a little bit fiddly to line it up. It does take a little bit of positioning to get it to fit in. And then you just fold the blue stand up and forwards. That sort of just tucks away underneath. And you've basically got the same weapon, but you can carry it in jet mode. Now obviously that wouldn't fly, it's not very aerodynamic, but again it does mean that if a kid wanted to play and be dogfighting, you can still use the weapon feature, so you could be flying along shooting at your enemies in the same way as you can use it in the robot mode. So again, really nice touch. And again, you got the bright G2 colours on this weapon. These are all sticker applications. I'm not sure that they're all spot on for placement, and obviously they're not all in perfect condition. Again, it's the sort of thing, this is one of the transforms that I will get around to restoring, and when I do get any sort of sets, if I ever get some repro labels for any of my transforms, I will do a vid showing putting them on in quality and matching up to the originals as well. Show you how just how good they are, the quality, colour match, that sort of thing. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this look at another G2 bot. Quite hard to pick up, these guys, complete with their guns. You do occasionally see the jet, occasionally you're lucky if you can pick up any of the weapon parts, but these guys do go for quite a pretty penny for what they are. They are quite basic. So again, this is one what's more of a collector's piece for a hardened Generation 1, Generation 2 collector, one of the sort of probably the older guys who want some of the vintage kit. But like I say, well worth picking up. There are several others in the line. I have got a couple of them, but again I'm working on getting it all sort of complete and tidy, because you do tend to pick them up in a bit rough state. But anyway, hope you've enjoyed this little review, and I shall see you again for another Transformers review. Thanks for watching.